members, newer people that come in to know that there's part of them in every one of us.
According to a Barna Group study, in 2009, 48% of women were in church at least once a week. However, by 2020, that number had dipped down to 29%, and that was before the pandemic. What happened? How can we turn this around? Join us for this conversation, invite a friend, and stay tuned. Welcome to the Women of SoCal Leadership Podcast. My name is Nicky Stade, and I'm the Executive Director of Women of SoCal. And I'm excited today to be on this episode with my friend and my colleague and my co-host, Linda Hicks, the Director of Ministry to Women. Linda, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Nikki, and I'm looking forward to featuring Ministry to Women today, or women's ministries, as it's so often called on this podcast. And so, Ministry to Women is all about ministry by women to women. And so we're determined to strengthen and empower this generation to know and serve God, but not just this generation, Nikki, the next generation too. And so I know these conversations that we're going to have today are going to be an encouragement and a resource to others. And so thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this on the Women of SoCal podcast.
This is going to be such a great conversation. And you have invited a couple of really great leaders in this area of ministry. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who they are and maybe even what inspired you to invite these particular women?
I have met both of these women in the course of ministry here in SoCal, and both of them have impacted me in different ways. And both of them have been welcoming, loving, and they're the kind of people you want to partner with and that sharpen you, that make you stronger. So let me introduce you to Maise Carranza. Now, Maise is a co-pastor of San Bernardino Community Church with her husband, Dave, and she's a mother to 5 adult children and a grandmother to 1 beautiful granddaughter. And Maise is also a full-time foster mom to 4 great nieces and nephews, and they're all under the age of 12. And not only that, Nikki, she is a licensed realtor, and she and her husband, they came to San Bernardino Community Church in 2004, and they were working as youth pastors then. And then in 2008, they stepped up and they became assistant pastors. And in 2011, they became the co-lead pastors of the church. So she serves in many different capacities there in the church, assisting her husband. And she speaks there on Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights from time to time. And she works, as many of us have done or do, in children's ministry, youth ministry, and what we're talking about today that's dear to our heart, women's ministries. And she has provided oversight for the Sunday morning volunteer teams. And her passion, and I've witnessed this, is seeing people serve God and their community through outreach. And she loves making people feel at home. And she made me feel at home from the very first time that I met her. And then I want to also introduce you to Melissa Ruvalcaba. She was born in Torrance, California. So this is a Cal gal. And but she was raised in Tucson, Arizona by a single mom of 5 children. And she moved back to Los Angeles at the age of 18. She met her husband there and they married. And now they have 1 daughter, Victoria, who's 26 years old, and one grandson, Jaden. And then Melissa began attending Port City Church in 2009. That's in Wilmington. And she's served there for 14 years. Melissa has been volunteering there at her church as a secretary when she first started. And then she was hired quickly as the on staff with the senior pastor's executive assistant. She has served there currently now as the creative director, and I can attest to that. She has an amazing creative gift, and she's been the director of women's ministry for 12 years there at the church. In the last 4 years, she's been serving on the Region 9 team as a SoCal Women's Ministry representative. So she's currently pursuing her credentials with the School of Ministry, and she has a desire to be an ordained minister with the Assemblies of God. And I know she will accomplish that. And so she really likes helping women through all stages of life in ministry, which is a key component to a successful ministry, right?
These women sound amazing. Let's bring them on. Please welcome Maise and Melissa. Hey, ladies.
Hi. Hey there, ladies.
Hi. So good to see you guys. And I have to say, Maise, you do not look like you have that many adult children. I'm flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. And Melissa, that's so great that you were born in Torrance. My husband currently works in Torrance. So okay. You might as well be neighbors.
Well, I met both of you separately, but you have both of you are gifted in ministry, and others look to you as for encouragement and strength. And we want to tap into some of that today, don't we, Nikki?
Yeah, we do. In fact, I just read at the beginning a startling statistic about the participation of women in the local church and how that's changed over the last 3 years. And those numbers are startling. So just let's start this conversation off with what's working in your guys' ministry context in your communities.
Well, for us, sorry, Melissa, online has really, made a big difference in impact and is a big change to ministry in itself here at SBCC. So a lot of women are, they would rather stay back because they could just catch church online. And there's time like, let's not put it online so they can come to church. But we can't do that either, because then you're losing, a big majority of those that we see numbers of people that are out of state that are still seeing the podcasts that we put on. So, it's just a give and take of staying in it. Still text message, social media is a big impact to get a hold of these ladies. And so we're going to stay in it that way. But online has been a big change for us.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Online has been so helpful for us, especially throughout the pandemic. We all had to learn how to become camera people and production people, and we've stuck with that. And I think that it's not only on a Sunday morning, but our small groups and our prayer meetings and a lot of things are happening online right now. And it's an absolute amazing tool. It helps us stay connected and reach out to women or families that are not only in California, but in other states and other countries. So it's been an amazing tool. Of course, just like Marissa, we encourage people to come into the church, come in person. We want to meet you. We want to hug you. We want to get to know you. We want to see your kids. And so little by little, they're coming in. But right now, the first step we're seeing is online services. Yeah.
We're staying in it.
Yeah. And I think we're getting better. Our volunteers are getting better at just, serving in that area, especially our younger generation. They're techie, they love it. So it's a perfect opportunity for them to serve as well. So
yes.
Well, ladies, I'd like to ask, and I'll start with you, Melissa. And then we'll Maise, you join in. How have you had to adapt your ministry approach in order to effectively reach a younger generation of women in your community? And maybe you want to speak to what are some tips or advice that you would give to ministry leaders to help bridge that generational gap?
Yeah, to me, that's one of the most important things in my ministry. That's actually one of my values that I always just bring up. It's something that stays in the forefront, because when I first started church, I was looking for women's ministry, and there was a senior women's ministry. There wasn't anything for 30-year-old, young adult. And so going and speaking to my senior pastor saying, hey, what's out there for my age? What's going on? And he said, well, why don't you, after a year of talking to him and bugging him, he said, it's something that the Lord has put on your heart. Why don't you do it? And I thought, no, I don't want to lead it. I just want to be a part of it. But in prayer and talking to God about it, I did take that step in faith. And I said, okay, I will absolutely do it. It started as a small book club on a Thursday night. The first night I had 35 women of all ages And I was scared out of my mind. I thought, what did I get into? But I felt so blessed because I knew right then and there the Lord said there is a need here, and you hit the nail on the head. So it's been something that's an absolute value to me, always staying connected with the younger generation of our church. So every event, every opportunity that we have to gather as women, I open it to all girls and women of all ages because if that serves as an opportunity for us to get to know each other, hear each other's stories. I'm not afraid of allowing the older women to really truly share their stories and experiences because the younger girls, age appropriately, and really it's up to mom. Like, mom, if you feel like your daughter is ready for this and will understand it and will be able to receive wisdom or receive understanding from it, bring them along with you because we want our women and our girls to get to know each other. It's such an amazing thing when you're walking through the lobby on Sunday morning and you see, a 60, 70-year-old woman having an awesome conversation with a 17-year-old girl. And they're just in conversation, they're in prayer, they're walking along and just living life, and getting to know each other. And that's a true, just something that I love watching that. I love watching the women and the young girls, how they grow and how they learn from each other. So here at Port City, we're not afraid of the younger generation and what they know. I believe that our women here really truly love learning from the younger generation, and it's important just to know each other and get to know each other. I love that. So it's been hard because um, a lot of the older women, that's been here for long, like, oh, we've done it this way for so long, and it's just for women. I thought we're all women. We're all blessed by the Lord, and let's bring our younger girls along because if we want this ministry and not just women's ministry, but the ministry of our church to stay strong, everyone has to be included. Everyone has to learn. Everyone has to grow, and we're now those women who are handing down the torches for these younger girls. So it's important to stay connected to the younger generation, not be afraid or intimidated by what they know or what they don't. Yeah.
That is so good. Maisie, what about you?
In starting women's ministry here at SBCC, I purposely did something that the AG I learned from, one of the conferences that I went to. And that's when they brought in the 40-year-olds to be part of the ministry leadership team, And so what I did was I brought a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, and a 60-year-old to my team. And they were all of different ethnicities. So I had Samoan, I had Filipino, I had Black, white, yes, and Mexican. And I purposely did that because I wanted all age groups to be identified. I'm of Samoan background. I have tattoos. I am ex-gang member. So I wanted the women of my church, this is the demographics of my area. And I wanted people that came to visit SBCC to know that there's women that look just like them. Maybe not, not the tattoos, but maybe not, just that we're all women and we all have stories and we can all, reach each other in an amazing way if they were just given the chance. So reaching the young people for me was staying plugged into those things and getting them connected. The young people here, I've always stayed connected because I did a dance team, took them all over with Simon. We went on our first missions trip to Fiji and they danced at all the schools there. We did an amazing trip with him. And, so I've always stayed connected with the younger group. And so now these younger group ladies are now grown women, mothers of their own. And so that connection, when you have that connection, all you have to do is make a phone call and they're coming. Hey, I'm going to have a women's ministry thingy. There's worship. Come on out, and they come. Or, hey, can you bring some macaroni salad? I love your macaroni salad, and that's how I get them connected. And they all have something to bring to the table. They all have a story to tell. And I want the newer kids, the newer members, newer people that come in to know that there's there's part of them in every one of us. There's a story that is to be told, and they need to, feel free to do it with a safe community of people to run it with, And
Well,
so
both of you, I see both of you, they saw somebody that looked like them, that they were a part of the leadership. And that is so valuable. And because you invested in that, it's reaping dividends. And I love that.
yeah, I had someone say they started whispering when they were talking to me, and they said, I used to be part of a gang, and they were whispering like, don't, so other people won't hear. And I was like, for real, me too. and they every Sunday, just they feel this closeness, and they're just, wait, that's our old life, like, come on, God is going to do something so new in you, and it's going to be amazing, and you just have to trust him.
That's so awesome. I love how you both have such a unique way of reaching younger women in your areas. And even, talking about how ministry has changed, and you mentioned being online, and even bringing some of them in to help with tech, and there's like different areas that they can serve, maybe even social media. I just think that's such a great way to incorporate the different generations. So when you're talking about building teams, Maise, you said that you brought in somebody from each of the generations onto your team. And Melissa, you were installed as a young leader in your church, in your context. So as you guys are building teams, how do you build teams in a way that helps them understand what their expectations are and what their, clear roles are? How do you kind of designate some of that as you're building teams?
Oh gosh, absolute clear communication. Communication is key here. And we have chat groups, we have emails, we have every which way that we can communicate. I personally love meeting with the women in person. I like to gather them and say, hey, let's sit down, let's go over what the vision that the Lord has given us is, and let's talk about dates, and let's talk about planning. I also feel that the women have to feel like they're in a safe place. They have a safe environment to come and truly express their creativity and express, like being able to speak and being able to share their opinion and their thoughts. The first few years that I was beginning to lead the women's ministry, I noticed that women were very quiet. They're very shy. They didn't want to speak out. They didn't want to, they're powerful and they're strong, but they didn't want to share their opinion. They have almost this, what's the word? Just being timid in sharing what their thoughts were. And I said, no, ma'am, this is where you come to practice. This is where you come to use that voice. And, even if you think it's silly, the Lord has given you this gift. He has given you this vision, inspiration. Share it with us. You never know what it can do. You never know whose life it can change. So just allowing them to really grow and be themselves has been a challenge. It has truly been a challenge because a lot of women are there, oh, I'm just a mom. Oh, I'm just a wife, or I'm just a this or just a that. And it's like, no, ma'am, you are a woman of God. He has given you these ideas and creativity. So knowing that they're in a safe place to share and express themselves, and just staying in contact with them, living life with them, being able to just pick up the phone and give them a call and chit chat about their day and check on the kids and see how school was and see how work was. Really building relationships is the key, is just having a true friend with you in ministry, being able to live that life together, serve the Lord together. It's the best thing that you can do. You will do it with joy 100% of the time. And it's, I love all the women that I get to serve with that have said yes to the call of serving in this ministry. And not only women's ministry, but, growing their talents and allowing them to understand that the Lord has not only gifted them to serve with women, but also help in the nursery, help with the young kids, help with young adults, as hospitality area. anywhere that the Lord has given them passion, allowing them to kind of spread their wings and go try other things to see where the Lord wants to take them, and not feeling like, oh man, you're going to leave me, but really saying, yes, girl, go and do what the Lord has asked you to do, because that's where your passion is going to grow, and it's just allowing them to grow. It's amazing. Yeah.
As for me, my expectations and responsibilities for the ladies have to be put out there up front, because if I don't, then I can't get mad about what they're going to bring to the table. And I've learned that. This is by trial and error, because everybody has either did it before or were part of women's ministry in some other kind of way and have their own ideas. And so I learned it. I learned to let them know what my expectation, and the expectation is to stay with the vision that I have for the women ministry goals, So, when we have women come in, when we invite them, what are my expectations? I expect you to greet them, be nice to them, bring them into the fold by just getting to know them, understanding why they're here, who they're related to. If they're not related to them, then I need you to sit with them. If they don't have a connection with somebody somewhere, you need to, that's their duty. You're not here to, you're going to receive whatever God has for the team. You're going to receive, but your job, it's your job to put forth what we have, the expectations that we have and the responsibilities that we, if a lady wants to serve the potato salad, you don't need to serve it. Let her do it. That's the kind of stuff. I always was I'm big on presentation, because I feel like that shows your heart. If you're just gonna put a bunch of women in a room without tablecloths, I just feel like that's not love. I need them to show love. I need them, when I come into a room and I see a centerpiece and I see a sign up and I see my name's already written on it, and everything just looks beautiful, then I see love. I see, you know what, they were ready for me. They were expecting me. I feel that they put all their heart into bringing, being welcoming and just making me feel welcome. And that was my expectation and responsibility for my team, is knowing what I want, and trusting that it's from God. And then being able to just say, what do you think? How do you feel about it? And then we come together and make it work.
When you're thinking about building teams and setting expectations, I'm thinking of the women's ministry leader that is serving in her church alone. And she's thinking, I don't even know where to start building a team. How do you guys go about discerning who to invite? How do you make that ask? How do you recruit women to be on your team? What would you say to that woman who feels all by herself?
I feel like it's always the invite is just to come and check us out. Just come and be a part of a small group, or prayer night, just anything that in a small event. The invite, is come and be a part of who we are first, and then really, upon building a relationship, getting to know this woman, giving her the challenge to be able to come and now be a part and help serve and help do. And a lot of women, young girls, and excuse me, a lot of of the women, they're very shy. They think, I'm not a leader. I'm not. It's like, I'm not asking you to take on the world. I'm asking you to come and set up a table. I'm asking you to come and be a support for a sister who's going to teach on a Wednesday night, and kind of cheer her on and be there with her. It's small steps in building confidence. Once they become familiar with everyone, or if they know everyone already, just giving them, allowing them, asking them to continue to stretch those tent pegs, and continue to challenge them. And okay, you've been a part of Wednesday night, study for many years. What does the Lord put on your heart? Would you like to lead one night? Would you like to teach something? And just continually challenging them, and just building that confidence, and the confidence in the Lord, and knowing that what they've heard the Lord say to them is the truth, and that they can do it, that they are strong enough. And it's always the invite, and it's just like Marissa said, bringing allowing the women to develop friendships, not within like little clique that drives me nuts, like the little cliques. Like, go get out of your comfort zone, get out of your friend zone, and go and meet a new woman. Go and talk to a new teen girl and invite her. Invite her over for coffee and have a donut with her, and just build. Continually build relationships. I believe for women, it's easy because we have that nurturing part of us, and we want to always love on someone, and we always want to be able to, show, make them feel, be hospitable and make them feel comfortable. I think it comes a little easier to some women. So yeah, it's always presenting that challenge, putting that challenge in front of them. Yeah. And then allowing them to grow in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think for us here at SBCC, I get to know every woman that steps in these doors. I have to build a connection. I need to let them know who I am, as far as them, that they feel safe enough to come here and know who's running things, and who's, that, it's God, of course, but they always want to see a face here. There's always has to be a body that they got to connect with. And I try to do that. And I try to connect with every woman. And then from that, I start inviting them. Going to, I'll do coffee, we'll do lunch. I love to eat, and that's how I connect with them. And then I'll say, girl, I need help in women's ministry. What do you think? How are you feeling? Because you think I could, girl, you could do it. I know you could do it. I believe God, because we pray for these things. We're constantly praying for people to step up. We're constantly praying and asking God, how can we grow the house? What do we need? We need leaders. We need the help, Lord. You know our heart, So then I get connected with someone and I feel that connection. It's time. I got to ask. And so they do it. And it's up to them. They know by this time they should know who I am. They're pretty good saying yes or no, and then and it's okay. And I said, it's okay. We could do one, we could do two. You don't have to do them all the time. But yeah, I stay connected with every woman that tries to come into the church. Yeah.
I love that. We use a ministry gifts assessment, and that helps us identify who has leadership skills and different other skills that are necessary to different aspects of our team. And so that's one of the things we kind of utilize. And I love that both of you champion those that may not see it in themselves, because sometimes those leadership skills are there, but they have not stepped into them. So the way both of you champion women to step into those things that they haven't tried before. And you give them room for success, but you also give them room for failure. Yeah. And both of them are learning, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you come back alongside and tell them it's not how would I have done it? It is, how can you do this better? And maybe next time, how can we circle back and see what God can do in that area. And so I love that both of you are so on task for that. I want to ask you a question, and it's about how do you make that team feel valued? One of the things when you're bringing a team together, you want them to feel like what they're contributing is important, that we need them, that they are vital to what's going on. So what are some of the things that you have done to make your team feel valued, or some of the tools that you've used to kind of help them be successful?
For me, I have treated them to women's conferences, or I will take them to Pinecrest or do something like that and I'll say, it's on us, we just want you to see how other women do it, because a lot of in our demographics in our area, the women they're different, but we're women, we all know how women think, or what we expect from each other, a friend, our spouses, so I just say, what, you want to go with me to a women's conference? Just us. Let's just go check it out, see what happens, And yes, and that just, conversations at Pinecrest can be amazing, life-changing, and the services that that we have put on over the years really do impact women, and so I take them to conferences, take them to coffee, take them to breakfast, and I stay connected. I think the key thing for me here in these ladies is just being, connected with them, letting them know that I'm here for them regardless. They fall one day, shake it off. The Bible says, shake off the dust and just keep going, and that's what we do. And that's how, I'm willing to be that person, and it's okay. I believe that God has put me here for that. So yeah.
You're in it for the long haul with them. And I think you asking them to come alongside of you elevates them, and they feel like,
Right.
Maise asked me.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. She must see something in me to let me partner here with her and be here with her and ride shotgun, so to speak. And so what a great way to invest in them. I appreciate that.
Thanks the Lord.
I'm lucky enough to serve under a pastor who is really compassionate. He's always celebrating all of our wins. When we feel that we've tried, even if we didn't necessarily succeed big time in whatever the project was, but we took the time to take on the challenge, and we took the opportunity to really try and try and do our best. And he really celebrates that in us, and it only encourages us to do more and motivates us. Like the morale goes up, and the spirit just gets stronger. And so that's something that I've adopted from him with the women who serve alongside of me. It's really celebrating their small wins, their big wins, and even their failures, saying, you know what, it's okay. You're not expected to be perfect. I'm not asking you for perfection. I'm just asking you to step out in faith and try something different, try something new. And that's where the coffee comes in and the lunches and all that fun stuff. But really is just encouraging, saying, you know what, you tried. It's amazing. I'm so proud of you. And let's just keep going. And if you failed, you know what? Okay, you have like 2 days to feel sad for yourself, but let's give it to the Lord and let's just keep going. Let's keep going. Don't stay in that area of, oh, I didn't do a good job. It's okay. We don't always get it right, and things happen. And sometimes, you know what? It just didn't work, and it's not going to work. And we tried it. Now let's move on to something new. So it's really just always continuously celebrating them. In my community, it's a very difficult community. A lot of people come from, their lifestyles were very hard. Parents are very, hard on them. Some didn't have parents. Some of them are single moms. So they don't always get that celebration in their life, or maybe never got it as a child. And to be able to receive it now as an adult serving the Lord, it's just an amazing feeling, and it makes you want to do more. I know from experience with Pastor Adam, he's always celebrating us and continuously challenging us.
That's awesome. This has been such a great conversation. It just, in our last couple minutes, do you guys have any final wise words of wisdom for other ministry leaders? Maybe some resources that you have found really valuable?
As for me, I would just encourage the leadership team to not look at them any other way but through God's eyes. Honestly, just know that your job for being a leader in women's ministry is that you're going to be stepped on. You are probably going to be talked about. All those are going to come, and you know what? You let it. And I always told my kids, I tell the women, don't give them anything to talk about. If you're doing your job, they don't have nothing to say. So stay that way. Just don't give them nothing to say. Don't come in with a frown. Don't be all mad because somebody took your seat or somebody took the last cookie, or, don't do that. We're going to celebrate these women as they come because God sent them. Every day is a new day with new victories to be won. And, it's little stuff like that just, tear up a church, and it's silly. So I would just encourage the women's leaders to just to love unconditionally. And that's looking at them with eyes that as if it was God, looking straight at them. And so, and know that you could do this because God's going to give you the strength to do it and push through. And when you need to go cry or talk to somebody, cry to him first.
Melissa, what do you think? What's your words of wisdom here?
You got to dig and you got to dig and you got to allow the Lord to nourish you and fertilize you and keep allowing you to grow. And growing hurts, and that's okay. Growing pains, that's why it's called growing pains, because growing hurts, pruning hurts, allowing things to come in your life and out of your life. It's a part of growing, and allow the Lord to come in and let you grow. He will give you the wisdom. He will give you the discernment. He will give you the women. Continue to pray for those women that are not even there yet. The women that haven't even stepped through the doors yet. Pray for that woman that's going to walk in, and she will be your right hand, or she will be your line cook, or she will be your event planner, or she will be your missions director, whatever it is that you need. Begin to pray for that woman and allow the Lord to continue to use you who you are. And not to, pretend to be someone else, because then you'll get tired. You'll start doing things in your own strength and things won't work out and you'll just get burned out. Just have fun. Women's ministry is a fun ministry. And yes, it's hard. And yes, it can be, exhausting. And just like anything else, any other job or hobby or anything that you have, it can get tiring. But, you're doing this for the Lord. And if you stay focused on Him, He will give you what you need. May not be what you want, but it's going to definitely be what you need, and you'll find more joy, fulfillment in that than anything that you can conjure up yourself, for sure.
I love that. One of the things is I'm always looking for somebody to do the things that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking to grow. And so that's where the growth is going to come, right? I can keep doing the same things that I'm doing, and I can be a bottleneck. But if I am bringing people on and I'm building up a team that's going to be doing the things that I'm doing, then God is going to expand our reach, and I can go to the next level, the next point, the point farther down the road that God wants to take us in leadership and in ministry. And so that's what God has called you and I to do, is we're looking to the horizon. I'm saying, Lord, where do you want to take us? And who do you have that's going to come alongside and take up the things that I'm already doing right now? If they can do them 80% as good as I can, great.
Yeah,
I will even settle for 75%.
Or if they can do it better, I always look for women who are way more talented than me.
Amen. And isn't that powerful? They may excel and do it better than I ever could. And I could have limited it by trying to have this stranglehold on trying to do everything. That's not what God has called us to do. He's called us to empower those other women, see the potential, nurture it, strengthen it, and then release them to do the work of God. That's why your churches are flourishing, and we love you guys so very much.
Thank you again. It was such an honor and a pleasure to be with both of you, Nikki and Linda. And I thank you so much again for the invitation. It was an amazing conversation.
Yes, thank you.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining our conversation. This has been so amazing, so valuable. It's even encouraged me. So thank you for sharing your words of wisdom with everybody. And friends, we are so excited that you have joined us for this episode. And if something here touched your heart or hit an area of need, please share this with your friends. Follow us at Women of SoCal AG for the next episode. And we can't wait to see you next time.